Taco Bueno is in trouble, and it may not get out of it. From slipping into bankruptcy and customers calling its food disgusting, the Tex-Mex style cooking chain may have bitten off more than it can chew. Will it get out of it? Watch this video to find out. From the name, you already have an idea of what Taco Bueno's menu is. But what this restaurant sells is not just tacos. It's selling history and unity. The company specializes in what people call Tex-Mex cuisine, which has a bit of a history behind it. Without that history, there would be no Taco Bueno. Tex-Mex cuisine began with the Tejanos, who are Texicans of Mexican descent. The cuisine combines native Mexican and Spanish foods. The northern Mexican states were initially the most significant influence on the path this cuisine would take, and the palates of those in Texas followed their lead. Despite a border separating Texas and the northern Mexican states, there are some cultural similarities that allowed the cuisine to continue to be borderless. They both have ranching cultures, love grilled meat, and so on. However, while the variation remained largely the same, the cuisine began to take on some American influence, with some of its ingredients having American origin. As time passed, the cooking methods also changed with the rise of cooking appliances in America. The cooking, which has found a home in Texas first, has spilled over to southwestern states and other states in the United States. It has even found an international market, with Tex-Mex shops popping up in Canada, with Canadians appreciating the cuisine as much as Americans did. The cuisine crossed the seas into Europe, first entering France in the early 1980s. It didn't stop its journey there. It continued to journey through Europe, passing through the Nordic countries and landing in the United Kingdom in the 1990s and the Netherlands. Tex-Mex meals have also found a fan base in Asia, especially India, Japan, and Thailand. The food continues to pop up all over the world. It is interesting how food can easily unite the world. Now you know about Tex-Mex, which Taco Bueno deals in. The chain's entry into the multi-ethnic delicacy began with brothers Bill and Tom Waugh after Bill graduated from Abilene Christian University in 1959 with a fine arts degree and decided to enter the restaurant business. His motivation? Maybe he saw food as art. And to be honest, food is art. The brothers founded the restaurant in 1967 in Abilene, Texas at 2549 South 1st Street and continued to do business until it expanded to another location on North 1st Street. After managing the chain for years, the owners sold it in 1981 to British food manufacturer Unigate for $32.5 million. From there, the company continued to change hands, with Carl's Jr. franchisor CKE Restaurants buying it in 1996. Amid the recurrent sales, the business got into a controversy in the early 2000s when a staff sued it for work discrimination. Fortunately, the court cleared the company of this allegation, but things weren't entirely right with the company. Those who bought it couldn't keep it. This led to a grim decision in 2018 when Omar Janjua, the business's CEO, revealed that the chain would be declaring Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The bankruptcy didn't affect the business operations, as both company-controlled and franchise owners continued to work. However, the restructuring led the company to make a familiar decision. To get the much-needed funds for restructuring, the company entered into a restructuring agreement with Taco Supremo LLC, a holding of Sun Holdings Inc. The agreement would let Sun Holdings acquire Taco Bueno as Sun Holding through Taco Supremo, will take over Taco Bueno's debt in exchange for equity. Eventually, in mid-2019, the company left bankruptcy. The new owner, Sun Holdings, who allegedly injected $10 million to assist the business's restructuring during its bankruptcy, promised to return the brand to its glory days. Guillermo Perales, CEO and president of Sun Holdings Inc., said, "When we acquired the Taco Bueno brand earlier this year, we saw a real opportunity to bring fresh, authentic Tex-Mex food back to the forefront of the category." After Sun's acquisition, the business changed its menu, mixing the original 1967 menu with fresher and even more quality ingredients. In the era of cutting costs to make food accessible and maybe tasteless, the brand has invested in fresh ground beef, chicken, and brisket. In addition, the brand has also allegedly made its salsas, guacamole, beans, tortilla chips, and taco shells from scratch in its restaurants each day. It then marketed itself based on its ability to make its food fresh, and it hired professionals to do this. But more of that soon. The business believes that if it can fix the taste of its offerings, keep things fresh, and make it by hand, customers will come back. To drive customer return further, the business listened. After numerous customer requests, the chain returned the original Taco Bueno queso recipe and Coca-Cola products twist to its menu. It also gave its customers the option of customizing their food the way they like, except it took this too far one time. However, despite making its food fresh and improving its ingredients and menu, the business has had one of its menu items described as disgusting. Who knew expanding a restaurant menu could lead them into trouble? Remember the professionals we said the business hired to market its dedication to keeping things fresh and sexy? It was the creative and media agency Plain Air that it hired, and the agency dived deeply into the business's campaign with some pretty creative ads. The creative agency showed the company's kitchen staff making meals by hand using real food ingredients with mariachi singers praising the fresh recipes. Fun, don't you think? And it worked, as the company has now opened its 1,000th store, even managing to opening new stores during the pandemic. Speaking of the pandemic, the company almost caused one when it created the quesadilla burger, which combined quesadillas and burgers. The burger allowed customers to customize it as much as they wanted. However, having so many options led to something that some customers called a monstrosity and disgusting. But that's just them. Other customers liked the new offering. Fortunately, this new menu item was promotional, so it didn't split customer opinion for long. Taco Bueno specializes in Tex-Mex cuisine, and it began when two brothers partnered to create it. The business exchanged hands with owners struggling to keep and make it work. Eventually, the company found salvation through an unfortunate event. This event was its declaration of Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The bankruptcy allowed the business to allegedly get the cash it desperately needed, but the cash wasn't for free. Its owner provided the money in exchange for ownership. The new owner got to work to help the brand regain its lost footing. Do you think it will, or will it fall to the competition?